The day begins with a gentle stir. I step onto my small balcony. The cool, clean air feels wonderful. It is a gift from the mountains that stand guard over Lake Garda. The sun is just starting to climb, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and orange. Below, the lake is a vast, shimmering expanse of blue. A light mist hangs over the water, slowly dissolving as the morning awakens. The world feels fresh and new. It's the kind of morning that makes you feel glad to be alive, ready for a day of discovery. I take a deep breath. The air smells of damp earth and pine trees. It rained overnight, and the scent is clean and revitalizing. In the distance, a rooster crows, its call echoing through the quiet valley. It is a rustic soundtrack to a perfect Italian morning. There are no sounds of city traffic here. Instead, there are the gentle noises of the countryside. A dog barks. A tractor starts its engine somewhere down the hill. This is a place where nature still sets the rhythm of the day. The simplicity is calming, a peaceful start before the day's adventure begins. From this vantage point, you can appreciate the sheer scale of the landscape. The mountains plunge dramatically into the lake. Terraced groves of olive trees and grapevines cling to the steep slopes. Small towns with their terracotta roofs are dotted along the shoreline. It's a postcard scene, but it's real. This is the Trentino region of Italy, where the Mediterranean climate meets Alpine grandeur. The beauty is almost overwhelming. It invites you to slow down, to simply stand and watch, to appreciate the moment. It is a reminder of the simple joys that travel can bring. This morning view sets the stage for our destination, Canale di Tenno. It is a village hidden up in these very mountains. It promises a journey back in time, away from the bustling lakeside towns. The peacefulness I feel on this balcony is just a taste of what is to come. The quiet, the fresh air, the connection to nature, these are the things that define this part of Italy. As I finish my coffee, I feel a sense of anticipation. I am ready to leave the modern world behind and explore a place where time has seemingly stood still for centuries. Getting to Canale di Tenno is an adventure in itself. The journey starts from the busy shores of Lake Garda. We leave the popular towns of Riva or Torbole behind. The car begins its climb. The road quickly becomes a series of hairpin turns. It snakes its way up the side of the mountain. With each bend, the view of the lake below becomes more spectacular. The water turns a deeper shade of blue. The towns shrink into tiny clusters of buildings. It feels like we are ascending into another world, leaving the 21st century further behind with every meter we climb. The landscape changes as we go higher. The olive groves, so typical of the lake, start to thin out. They are replaced by heartier trees like chestnuts and walnuts. The air becomes cooler and crisper. We drive through small, sleepy hamlets. Old stone houses with wooden balconies line the road. It's a glimpse into the traditional life of the mountains. This is not the tourist-filled Italy of the grand cities. This is a more rugged, more authentic side of the country. The drive requires your full attention, but the scenery is a worthy reward for the effort. After a few more turns, the sign appears, Canale. We pull into a small car park just outside the village. You cannot drive into Canale di Tenno. That is the first clue that you have arrived somewhere special. The absence of cars is a key part of its charm. You must leave your modern transport behind and enter on foot. This simple act feels like a rite of passage. It forces you to slow down immediately. You are no longer a driver, but a wanderer. The real journey is about to begin, and it will be taken at a walking pace. From the car park, a short, cobbled path leads towards the first houses. The anticipation builds. What will we find inside this hidden village? The entrance is unassuming. There are no grand gates or ticket booths. There is just a quiet path inviting you in. You hear the sound of your own footsteps on the stones. You might hear the distant chime of a church bell. This is the moment of discovery. You are about to step out of your world and into the timeless embrace of Canale di Tenno. The adventure is just getting started. As you walk into Canale di Tenno, you feel it instantly. It is as if you have passed through an invisible curtain into the past. The village is a beautiful maze of narrow, cobbled alleyways. The streets are just wide enough for a person and perhaps a donkey. They wind between tall, sturdy stone houses that seem to lean in towards each other. The buildings are connected by arched passageways and covered tunnels, known as avolti. These create a wonderful play of light and shadow, making a walk through the village a constant surprise. The atmosphere is one of profound peace. The silence is broken only by the sound of your own footsteps, a cat scurrying across the cobbles, or the murmur of voices from an open window. Time does not rush here. It meanders. The slow, deliberate construction of the village, with its heavy stones and thick walls, seems to have absorbed the centuries. It encourages you to walk slowly, to look closely, to simply be present. In a world that is always speeding up, Canale offers a rare and precious chance to slow down and breathe. Everything here is built from the materials of the mountain. The houses are made of local stone, their colors ranging from gray to a warm, sun-bleached tan. The roofs are covered in old, curved terracotta tiles. Wooden balconies, weathered by time, are decorated with colorful pots of geraniums. It all feels completely organic, as if the village grew directly out of the hillside. This harmony with the landscape is a huge part of its appeal. It is not an artificial tourist creation. It is a living, breathing piece of history that has been preserved with love and care. This is a place to get lost in. There is no need for a map. Every turn reveals a new delight. A hidden courtyard, a tiny staircase climbing up a wall, a sudden, breathtaking view of the mountains. The village is small, so you can never be truly lost for long. Wandering without a plan is the best way to experience Canale. It allows for serendipity, for the joy of personal discovery. This is what travel should be about, not just seeing the sights but feeling the soul of a place. And the soul of Canale di Tenno is quiet, ancient, and deeply calming. The story of Canale di Tenno goes back a very long time. The first written records of the village date all the way back to the year 1211. For centuries, it was a humble mountain farming community. Life was simple, but it was also very hard. The people who lived here were self-sufficient. They grew what they needed on the terraced land around the village. They raised animals and relied on the forests for wood and chestnuts. Their lives were governed by the seasons and by the demanding work required to survive in the mountains. For hundreds of years, life in Canale followed this same slow, predictable rhythm. Generation after generation was born, lived, and died within this small, tightly knit community. The stone houses we see today were their homes. The narrow alleys were their daily paths. They worked the land together, they celebrated feast days together, and they supported each other through difficult times. This strong sense of community was essential for survival. It was a world away from the grand politics and wars of the Italian city-states, a self-contained universe on a mountainside. Then came the 20th century, and with it, profound change. After the devastation of the First World War, life in the mountains became even harder. Many people saw a better future elsewhere. They began to leave Canale in search of work in the cities or in other countries. The village slowly started to empty out. Houses were abandoned. The once lively alleyways grew quiet. For a time, It seemed that Canale di Teno might become a ghost town, its centuries of history destined to crumble into ruin like so many other remote mountain villages across Europe. This period of decline was a sad chapter in the village's long story. The exodus of its people threatened to erase a unique way of life. The fields became overgrown. The stone walls began to fall. The soul of the village was fading away. It was a common story of rural depopulation, where the pull of the modern world proved too strong for the old ways to resist. Canale di Teno was on the brink of being forgotten, a beautiful but empty shell. But its story was not over. A remarkable revival was just around the corner, one that would save the village and give it a new purpose. Just when it seemed that Canale di Teno would be lost to history, a new chapter began. In the years after the Second World War, something wonderful happened. The village's quiet beauty and its melancholic abandoned state started to attract a new kind of visitor: artists. Painters and sculptors from across Italy and Europe discovered this forgotten gem. They saw not decay, but potential. They were captivated by the medieval architecture, the incredible light, and the peaceful atmosphere. They saw a canvas waiting to be brought back to life. These artists did something truly special. They began to buy the abandoned stone houses, but they did not modernize them. They did not tear down the old walls to build modern holiday homes. Instead, they began a patient and loving process of restoration. They understood what made the village unique. They used traditional materials and techniques to repair the crumbling structures. They respected the history that was soaked into the very stones of the buildings. Their goal was not to change Canale, but to preserve it, to heal it. This artistic revival was the saving grace of Canale di Teno. The village was reborn, not as a commercial center, but as a haven for creativity. The artists brought life back to the silent lanes. The sound of a chisel on stone or the smell of oil paint replaced the sad silence of abandonment. They chose art over industry, preservation over profit. This decision is why Canale feels so authentic today. It was not redeveloped by a big company. It was lovingly restored by individuals who valued its soul. One of the most important figures in this revival was an artist named Giacomo Vittoni. He fell in love with the area and dedicated himself to its promotion. Thanks to his efforts and the work of many other artists, the Casa degli Artisti, the House of Artists, was established. This building became a focal point for the new creative community. It serves as a gallery and a residence where artists can come to live and work. It is a living testament to the vision that saved Canale di Teno from ruin and transformed it into the enchanting place it is today. Today, Canale di Teno thrives on a gentle, slow kind of tourism. It is not a place for big tour buses or souvenir shops selling plastic trinkets. The people who come here are looking for something different. They are seeking peace, beauty, and a connection to the past. The village's artistic soul is evident everywhere you look. You will see small galleries and workshops tucked into the ground floors of the stone houses. You might see an artist at an easel, capturing the play of light in a quiet courtyard. Art is not just in the galleries, it is woven into the fabric of daily life. The village is also a place of surprising color. While the stone buildings are in shades of gray and brown, the residents add vibrant splashes of life. Flower boxes overflow with bright red geraniums and purple petunias. Green ivy climbs up the ancient stone walls. In the small private gardens hidden behind the houses, you will see fruit trees. In the autumn, the branches are heavy with bright orange persimmons and deep red pomegranates. These flashes of color against the weathered stone are incredibly beautiful. They are a sign that this is not a museum, but a living, breathing village. At the heart of the village's creative life is the Casa degli Artisti. This house of artists is a wonderful place to visit. It hosts exhibitions of paintings, sculptures, and other artworks, often created by artists who have lived and worked right here in Canale. It is a quiet, contemplative space that perfectly reflects the village's character. It is also a symbol of the successful marriage between history and creativity. The building itself is historic, but the art inside is often contemporary. It shows how the past can inspire the present. As you wander, you will also notice beautiful frescoes painted on the exterior walls of some houses. These murals depict religious scenes or moments from village life. Many are faded by time and weather, their colors softened over the centuries. They are like open-air art galleries, telling stories to anyone who passes by. They are yet another reminder that in Canale, art and life are inseparable. This focus on creativity and beauty, rather than on mass tourism, is what makes a visit here so refreshing and memorable. It's a place that nourishes the soul. To truly understand Canale, it is worth visiting the small village museum. It is called the Museo degli Attrezzi Agricoli, which means the Museum of Agricultural Tools. It is housed in one of the old stone buildings, and it is filled with objects from the village's past. Here, you can see the tools that people used for centuries to work the land. There are old wooden plows, scythes for cutting hay, and large barrels for making wine. These simple, handmade objects tell a powerful story of hard work and self-sufficiency. Looking at these tools, you can almost imagine the people who used them. You can picture a farmer guiding a plow pulled by an ox, or a woman carrying a heavy basket of chestnuts on her back. These were not easy lives. Every day was a struggle against the steep terrain and the unpredictable weather. But these objects also speak of skill and ingenuity. People knew how to make what they needed from wood and iron. They understood the rhythms of the seasons and the secrets of the land. The museum is a humble but profound tribute to their resilience. Near the entrance to the village, you will find a modern bronze monument. It is dedicated to the Vicinia. This was the ancient institution of the village council, where the heads of the local families would meet to make important decisions for the community. They managed the common lands, the forests, and the water resources. This monument celebrates that long history of cooperation and self-governance. It reminds us that for centuries, the people of Canale managed their own affairs and relied on each other to survive. It is a powerful symbol of community spirit. All these elements, the old tools, the monument, the very layout of the village, paint a vivid picture of a life shaped by the land. The narrow paths were made for walking, not for cars. The houses were built close together for warmth and community. The terraced fields were a clever solution to farming on a steep mountain. Life was slow because it had to be. It followed the pace of the seasons, the growth of the crops, and the needs of the animals. Visiting Canale allows us to connect with this slower, more deliberate way of being, and to appreciate the wisdom it holds. A visit to Canale di Tenno is not complete without a short walk to its namesake lake. Just a 15-minute stroll down a gentle path from the village lies Lago di Tenno. When you first see it, you might think your eyes are deceiving you. The color of the water is an almost unbelievable shade of turquoise. It is so clear and bright, it looks like something from a fantasy story. This incredible color comes from the unique combination of the white stone lakebed and the pure, sediment-free water that flows down from the mountains. The atmosphere at the lake is one of pure tranquility. It is a small, perfectly formed body of water, nestled in a basin surrounded by dense green forest. There are no motorboats allowed on the lake, which helps to preserve its peaceful character. The only sounds you will hear are the lapping of the water on the shore. the rustling of leaves in the breeze, and the happy chatter of people enjoying the natural beauty. In the center of the lake, there is a small island. When the water level is low, you can even walk to it. A well-maintained path circles the entire lake. The walk takes less than an hour and is mostly flat and easy. It is the perfect way to experience the lake from all angles. As you walk, the color of the water seems to change with the light, shifting from pale green to deep turquoise. The path takes you through the cool shade of the forest and then out onto small white pebble beaches. It is an ideal spot for a picnic, a refreshing swim on a hot summer day, or simply a place to sit on a bench and contemplate the view. Lake Tenno, like the village, is a place that invites you to slow down. It is a destination for connection, with nature, with yourself, and with the simple joy of being in a beautiful place. The combination of the medieval village and this natural jewel is what makes a trip here so special. You get history and nature, culture and tranquility, all in one small corner of Italy. After a day spent wandering through ancient alleys and gazing at turquoise water, you leave feeling refreshed and inspired. You take with you the memory of a place where time moves a little more slowly and where beauty is found in the simplest of things.